Welcome. The film begins in a village in Japan with a girl named Mai. She is standing in front of the mirror and asking herself, I wonder how she looks, and whether her new colleagues will accept or not. Her mother, Mai, calls her to help her prepare breakfast, but she ignores and continues thinking to herself, and it appears that Mai has moved from the city. Tokyo is a village in Japan, and she is very sad because she left her old life, which she was accustomed to and which was very comfortable for her, and she says that she thought her life there would continue, but despite that, she found herself forced to continue her life in a village and give up her comfort in the city where she grew up, and she takes it that there is nothing. There is a solution in front of her, but she is adapting to her new reality, no matter what happens, and she will start the first day of school today, so she decided to cut herself off and get ready to go to school, and she takes pictures of herself and tries to show that she is excited, and she takes Mai out of the house, and she tells herself that humility was the most important principle in her old life in Tokyo, and she must stick to it in the future. Her new reality is so that she is not an outcast and in order to avoid any problems with her classmates. The students appear in the school and they are very friendly, forming small groups and interacting with each other clearly. She develops an interest in the school while she does not know the study system and stands with her school. What she does know is that she understands that life here in the village is not comparable. Living in Tokyo, she understands that she will get a little tired at first until she starts to adapt, but I assure her that her classmates are very nice and friendly and will help her until she gets over her old life and asks her not to hesitate to ask them for help, and Mai becomes very shy of her and no longer knows how to respond to them, and after that a girl named Sen enters the class, and she is a student of Mai's classmates. The school asks her to take her room until class time comes, and it appears that San is upset about something and is happy all the time. The teacher keeps talking to her until she starts concentrating with her, and she takes Mai and leaves the class, and then she doesn't walk and take pictures. Everything is in front of her on the street in order to document the moment, and she will be filming Sam with her, but she refuses and asks her to stop filming, and returns to the classroom, and stops and introduces her colleagues to her, and tells them that she changed her place of residence from Tokyo to this village because her father moved his place of work here, and her colleague is not very accepting, and they see that she has gone out. It is more normal than they imagined. Mai sits alone in desk and notices that she is ostracized by her classmates and that no one wants to deal with her. She tries to think of a way to make her integrate with them quickly. Suddenly, a girl named Yuria comes and sits with her and her friends and asks where she lived in Tokyo before she came here. She continues to talk to her and tries to get close to her and offers them that they have lunch together today, so Mai agrees and she is very happy that she has started to form relationship with her classmates. Suddenly they find San getting very upset and entering into a psychological state that is not good, so she starts to ask a girl from the class to ask her for her money, and then San is surprised and the whole class reacts. She was studying in Tokyo when she was in middle school, and at that time Mai and her friends used to bully her and treat her badly, and they used to constantly intimidate her. She said, some people are running outside the class and leaving him. The girls ask Mai about the truth about the tongue she is talking about, so she tells them that there is definitely a misunderstanding and goes after her on the street because you understand from her what is happening, and as soon as you see her, you begin to think that she was really with her at school in Tokyo, but it was with a different name than her name is now, and San begins to think about the ugly way in which she used to treat her, and Mai tells her that she was not mean, and that the ones who were afraid of her were two people named Shiro. She started to understand that San would not be able to deceive her, and she thought that she still had no friends here at school, and she assumed that she could be friends with anyone as long as she was here with her, and she started screaming and pretending that Mai was hitting her, so she quickly left her classmate and took the one in front of her and walked away, and since then, the whole class continued to avoid her. Mai refuses to deal with her, and the students enter the class in front of her without saying anything to her, and there is a girl named Natori who goes to greet her, so Yuria stops her and asks her not to deal with her because she has bad morals, and Natori goes and pours water on Mai's hair to make her angry and upset, and puts her in a very embarrassing situation in front of Mai. Her classmates, Mai moves to leave the classroom, so she starts to leave Natori behind her, and then Mai closes the door with her hands, so she starts, and here San screams and tells them that she used to do this to her while they were in middle school, and she wants to ruin her reputation in any way, and she actually succeeds in this, and Mai turns into a bad person in their eyes. All the students who are with her do not know how to explain her situation to them, and none of them accept her. They all want her to leave among them and return to the place she came from, and they keep repeating in one voice that they want her to go home until Mai gets burned and walks away, and they are all very happy with her reaction, and Mai goes to dry her hair while she wonders why they are doing this to her, and she becomes very sad about the situation that reached her in her first week at school, and the students spread throughout the school that there is a bully girl who has joined them. And their classmates are brought from her so that no one mixes with her, and she drinks water in school due to her bad manners, and makes up her classmates, even those who are still there. I did not deal with them, and the next day, Mel enters the classroom and is philosophizing for her, and she cannot find the book that was in it, so she goes to look in the trash can and finds that her book is thrown inside and broken, and San is happy that she was able to hate them there, and Mai is unable to ignore what is happening to her, so she likes to cut her book and takes her right. Fury becomes angry. Her classmate is very upset because of her. In the break, Yuria is sitting with her friends and they are talking about Mai, and they say that they thought she was a rich girl, but she disappointed their expectations. The next day, Mel goes to school, and Natori apologizes in front of her classmate. She learns that it was not her intention to lock the door with her hands, and then she tells Sana that she must reconsider her calculations again because there is a misunderstanding between them, and she is definitely not the girl she means. She was afraid in middle school and was trying to improve her image in front of them in any way, and then Yuria intervenes and tells her that in any case, she does not need friends, and she knows that trying to reconcile with them is unnecessary, and she shows Yuria a video of herself from his house. When she arrived in the village, she told him that she was not satisfied with anyone in the place to be friends with him, so she felt embarrassed and unable to respond to her, and her classmates kept rejecting him, and no one liked to deal with her, and even the boys in the class kept bullying her without any consideration for her feelings, so he smiled and went to eat alone in the room. In the school grounds, the second period begins, and while she is sitting, a girl comes to her and hands over a piece of paper to give to her family. This piece of paper is a statement about a cultural festival that will be held at the school next week, and before the girl walks away, she calls for her, and you know that it has been here since the time she came here and not. There is no one who understands her, and all the students refuse to deal with her, and she asks her to talk to each other because she feels that someone wants her presence. The girl agrees and tells her that she has no objection to them talking to each other, but on the condition that they do not befriend each other, and if bad news reaches this girl, she becomes upset. Mai is very sad and shows signs of sadness on her face, and at the time, the girl leaves her alone and walks, and here San comes to her and continues to laugh at her sarcastically and speaks to her in a tone full of hatred and gloating. She thinks that she was put in this same situation before because of her and reassures her that she has not yet seen anything from her and that she will regret the moment that happened. She thought about leaving Tokyo and joining their school, and she kept squeezing her arm so hard that she could move from her fist, and she let go and walked, and the next week the cultural festival began, and Yuria and her friends kept playing while they were happy, but San took a side by herself and did not hit them, and she went into the school bathroom and found Mai sitting inside, sad. She will still be very happy with the condition that has reached her, but suddenly she will have a depression alert, and she will run from the bathroom and sit in a corner alone so that no one can see her. She will take her depression pills, and she will sigh forcefully and begin to remember painful memories from what she went through during her studies in Tokyo. It appears that she is mentally ill and is taking the depression medications are constantly taking her back to class, and Yuria paints her face red while celebrating the cultural festival, and continues to annoy her and her friends while they are satisfied with her, until she is able to break free from them and leave the classroom quickly. Then she goes to the bathroom and washes the color she painted on her face, and then she goes into the bathroom and apologizes to her for the way she treats her. It appears that she is very affected and remorseful, and Mai is in good faith. She believes it, but suddenly the features of remorse on her face turn into those of sarcasm, and it appears that she was deceiving, assuring her that neither she nor her friends will stop what they are doing to her, and she knows that her fate will be one of two things. Either she will drop out of school at all, after that she loses hope that they will change their ways with her, or she will continue until they force her to, because she ends her own life in order to get rid of the pain she is in, and the newspapers write about her and what happened to her, and at that time she feels that she is in big trouble and does not know how to act or make a decision, so she smiles and comes out of the bathroom. And San feels this terrible victory because she was able to experience the same feeling of fear that she used to experience while she was in Tokyo. The next day after school, Natori is walking with one of her friends named Shiho, and suddenly Shiho tells her that she is not satisfied with what happened yesterday at the festival and what they did to Mai, and she continues to see. She didn't deserve what happened to her, and at that time Natori made her understand that Mai was Yuria's enemy and assured her that she would still fight on Yuria's side, even if she would lose her personally. She left and walked completely ignored, and on the weekends, Mai would come home and stand and talk to her mother in the kitchen, and she would be very happy. She tells her about what is happening to her at school, but she is unable to do so. On the second day of school, her classmates ask her to remove the tablecloth that is on the classroom table, and the first time she removes it, it becomes horrifying, and she becomes angry at her and is mocked. Then, she becomes angry and grabs Natori's toy and throws it on the floor, breaking it. Natori becomes very upset and feels upset. Mai is very tired and exhausted, so she goes into the room to get some sleep. When she wakes up, she is confused and they are approaching her. He forces her inside the room and likes to hug her from the outside, and she keeps flopping around, hoping that someone will catch her, but unfortunately her voice is not audible, and Yuria and her friends keep provoking him by talking from the outside, and then they leave and walk, and she controls S. Mai is in her room so as not to attend the concert that is starting now on the school stage, and her classmate is attending the concert and having a very happy time, and Mai keeps banging on the door with all her energy, but unfortunately to no avail. After the concert, Yuria takes her friends and they go to open for her, and they continue to mock her and prove to her that they are capable. They overcome the evil inside her, and during the festival, a student stands with Yuria and tells her that her hair is beautiful and strong, and he keeps flirting with her. He explains that he knows that she wants to work in hairdressing when she graduates, and he asks her that if she fails, she will continue to release the energy of anger inside her, as she is accustomed to doing with Mel and Bio. After that, he will tolerate her, but Yuria repents of his brother for his words, and she lets her walk, and the next day, Mai is asleep until school returns, and her mother prefers to wake her up so that she does not stay late any longer, but she completely ignores him and continues her sleep, and it appears that she has completely hated school and does not want to go there again, and Mai is absent from school for the day. She and her classmate are telling each other what happened to her yesterday, and they continue to laugh at her while gloating over her, except for Shiho, who is sitting next to her alone and starts interacting with them because she sympathizes with Mai. She enters the bathroom and continues to laugh very loudly while she is happy, and turns on the water tap on the other side to cover up the water. The sound of her laugh and none of the teachers hear her. On the same day, Mai boards the Qatar Tokyo and travels there alone. She meets her old friends with whom she lived the best days of her life. She is very sad and they are happy that they met her after a period of absence. They spend the day together and they are very happy. They keep laughing and imagining until the night, and a girl from her name is Sahi with Mai, and she asks about her new life in the countryside. Mai tells her that it is not the best thing, and she is upset with the way her classmates treat her. Sahi feels that Mai's description of her new life is like hell, and she begins to tell her that she also became alone in her high school because the rest of her classmates are from a lower class. He is much richer than her, and she is the only one who is not like them, so she gives Mai with her and calls, and Sahi wants her to come back to live with them in Tokyo like the first, but Mai tells her that she will not be able to do this, and suddenly Sahi tells her that her new hairstyle is very bad and that she wants her to change it, and the rest of her friends agree with her opinion again. One day at breakfast, Mei's mother tells her that her new hairstyle is beautiful, strong and suitable for her shape, but Mei is affected by the words of her friends and goes into the bathroom and changes its color and style. She goes to school in the new look that she made and enters the classroom all confident in herself and sits in her place alone without saying anything to anyone. From her colleagues, they are all amazed by her new look, and Yuria calls her out, but she completely ignores her, so she likes to tell her that her new hairstyle is very funny, so he tells her that her hair is the one that is bad, and that she is supposed to remain the last person to talk about hairstyles, and here, Yuria is sincere in her response and stands like a statue without anything. She responds to her with any word, because her hair is a red line for her, especially since she wants to work in the field of hairdressing when she graduates. The next day, Yuria and Notori enter the class with a piece of paper written on it saying bad things about them. Someone from the class will take her to school to track them down, and he will stand in front of the whole class and ask who wrote it. This paper, and at that time, Shiho starts to get nervous, and the features of fear appear on her face, and it appears that she is the owner of the paper, and as soon as Mai notices this, she confesses to herself and says that she is the one who left the paper to the school, and this is because of her behavior towards evil. Here, Yuria becomes very angry and goes to get a bottle of ink, and Mai is arrogant and rude, and she is embarrassed in front of the class. All the same, but Mai does not care, and after school, Chiho goes to stand with her and thanks her for the chivalrous attitude that Maha did in the classroom, and assures her that she is completely different from Yuria and Nadi, and that she is against bullying, and she never wishes to be like them. As the days pass, Mai's personality changes among her classmates, and they all continue to talk about her ignoring them. And she began to avoid dealing with any of them, and she chose only Shiho from among them to be her friend. One day, Shiho goes to class after the school day does not end, and Notori is sitting there alone, so he asks her to come with him for a few seconds, and when she walks with him, Shiho takes her to the place where she is there and the first time she sees her. Notori is running fast, but Mai stops her. She knows that she has something important that she must know, and tells her that Yoer said very bad things about her, but Notori does not believe it, and she knows that she wants to come to an agreement between them to some extent. Mai sends her the chat and lets her read the words for herself, and here Notori is honest and walks away from them. She is devastated and Mai lets Shiho go after her. At this time, Yuria is in a place alone in the school and she hears the sound of a loud scream, so she walks in the direction of the sound until she reacts in front of the stairs and bleeds, and it appears that Shiho was the one who fell when Mai asked her to go after her, and she was also the one who helped Mai fabricate it. The chat that Notori saw and she wants to help her to get her rights back from them and defeat them. Yuria is very upset about the injury that happened to her friend and Baiban is upset about her dealings with the rest of her classmates and she does not accept being dismissed from others. One day, Mai is participating in a football match in the school courtyard, and suddenly a girl named Shika throws. She plays the ball hard and falls on the floor, so she gives Shika a check to the room that contains the playing equipment, and her colleague Corky enters after her and tells her that he knows that she did that because of San and asks about what happened between her and Mai to create all this hostility between them, so Shika tells him about everything that San has been exposed to at Tokyo school at the hands of Mai, and you know that she was always hitting her and crying out for mercy. The next day, Mai goes to school, and she is stuck with the wound on her legs. She goes to meet Corky and whispers to him that she wants to file a report at school against Chika after what she did to her yesterday at the match, and at that time, Corky makes her understand that he knows her truth is and he asks her to stop playing the victim because he knows that she is the one who started a long time ago, and from the next day, she will go stand with Mai and keeps provoking her with words. At that time, Mai tells her that what she was doing with her has been a long time, but he promises her that she will continue to suffer from its effects for the rest of her life, and she will not be able to get over it. Never, here San becomes short of breath and falls to the ground. She keeps whimpering and takes out her depression pills. She takes them while thinking about her horrible memories with Mai and her friends, and she cannot bear it any longer. She comes out with a sharp instrument and cuts an artery in her hands in front of Mai, which causes her to bleed. She walks away as if nothing had happened, and San quickly takes her to a doctor. The school is transferred at the last moment before she loses her life, and it appears that Mai was planning something big and powerful, and she has been in charge of her account since the first time she was bullied by San. It turns out that she is recording her every time she speaks to her in a bad way, and Mai spreads these videos and recordings among all of their classmates, and they deserve San to the fullest extent. They see that Mai is the one who was victimized.